June 8th, 2026. 1 year since I received a kidney transplant. 1 year since Grace met me in the hospital room and reminded me my story wasn't finished. But this isn't about a transplant. It's about the pressure before the miracle, the warning signs, the hospital stays, the dialysis chair, the machine, the fear, the faith, the music, the moments nobody saw, and the God that kept building me when life tried to break me. I'm G-Ski Rocks, a DJ, a minister, a speaker, a kidney transplant recipient, and 1 year later, I'm still here.
Before kidney failure had a name, life was already moving fast for G-Ski. He was a husband, a father, a Navy veteran, a DJ, a minister, and a man with responsibilities, dreams, bills, music, family, pressure, and purpose all moving at the same time.
You know what? That's a pretty good question. I think the hardest part about hearing that my kidneys were failing was the fact of the matter that I heard that my kidneys were failing. When I found out about my kidney failure, I was already stage 5. So there wasn't much coming back from that that I knew of at the time. There wasn't much coming back from that. So it was straight to dialysis, and dialysis actually changed my life. I did home hemodialysis. I did that because I wanted to continue working, and I wanted to continue to do all the things that I was doing. So I didn't have time to be going to a facility every 3 to 4 days to do dialysis when I could do dialysis at home in the comfort of my own home, and I can still get things done. When I was on dialysis, I continued to make music. I prepared things, for my entertainment business, and I did a lot of things that helped me establish myself to where I am now. And doing home hemodialysis helped me out a great deal. And that's why I chose home hemodialysis. But just hearing that my kidneys had failed was very, very difficult. It was difficult for me. It was difficult for my family, because everybody, not just me, everybody had to adjust. So that's probably the biggest thing that I had to deal with as far as my kidneys failing. Yeah, so that's probably it.
The warnings became real. Doctor visits became hospital stays. The body G-Ski had depended on started demanding attention. And every time he ended up in a hospital room, there was this quiet battle going on inside. Not just physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Because when your health starts changing, your identity gets tested. You start asking questions you didn't plan to ask. What does this mean? Can I still be who I'm called to be? Can I still provide? And for G-Ski, this is where the deeper battle began. Because sickness does not just attack the body. It tries to rename you. It tries to make you introduce yourself by your problem. It tries to make you believe the diagnosis is the whole story. But G-Ski had to learn. His condition may be real, but it does not get to name him.
Family. Man, there's not a lot that I can say to explain how my family got me through this. Shouts out to my wonderful, beautiful wife. She helped me tremendously through all of this. And she's still a trooper now. She's still a trooper now. She does everything. I have no worries. I have no worries. I don't think about, you know, our groceries. I don't think about what's for dinner. None of that. She has it covered. Family is everything to me. So family helped me get through this whole entire journey, this whole entire dialysis thing, this chronic kidney disease thing. Family was everything. Um, so family helped me get to this point to where I am now. I don't think, had it not been the support of my family, I don't think I would be where I am. I don't think I would have made it this far. I really don't. So yeah, family is everything. So yeah, thank you.
And then came kidney failure. Stage 5, end-stage renal disease. Words like that don't just land on your ears. They land on your life. They land on your family. They land on your future. Suddenly, everything has a schedule. Everything has a number. Labs, medications, diet, fluid, energy, fatigue, and questions. A whole lot of questions. Kidney failure changed how G-Ski moved. It changed how he planned. It changed what he thought about every day. But it did not change what God placed inside him. That became one of the biggest lessons of the journey. This is where people get it twisted. Faith does not mean you don't feel fear. Faith means fear doesn't get the final vote. Faith means I may not like this chapter, but I still trust the author.
That's another good question. What role did faith play when my body was tired? That's an extremely good question because faith played a role in the whole entire thing. Because uh, for me, faith is my foundation. Without faith, I don't think I would have made it to where I am now. Faith is everything to me. I put faith first. So that's what that's what helped me through the whole entire thing. And all of my kidney people, they know. All my people on dialysis, they know that dialysis is difficult. Dialysis has a heavy toll on your mindset. It has a heavy toll on your body. It has a heavy toll all the way around. It's a difficult thing to go through. And if you don't have a foundation, it can be even harder. A lot of people have a tendency to give up because they have no foundation. Most people, their foundation is themselves. And if your foundation is broken, then you break. And there's nothing solid there to stand on. So I have a foundation of Jesus Christ in my life, and Jesus Christ is my all. Jesus Christ is my everything. It is a solid foundation for me to stand on. And that helps me through the fight of kidney disease and being on dialysis every single day. Great question.
Then came June 8th, 2025, the day everything shifted, the day years of pressure met a miracle. He walked into that moment carrying gratitude, fear, hope, surrender, and the weight of knowing life was about to change again. Before surgery, you think about everything: your wife, your family, your children, your grandchildren, your purpose, your faith, your past, your future, and all the times you wondered if you would make it to this moment. Then you realize, God carried me here. Not because I earned it, not because I was perfect. Grace carried me here. And when Jiski woke up, he didn't just wake up with a new kidney. He woke up with a new responsibility. A transplant is not the finish line. It is a gift, and the miracle deserves maintenance.
What's cracking, my peoples? What's cracking, my peeps? G-Ski Rocks here, Dialysis and the DJ, and I want to thank you for watching my 1-year kidney transplant anniversary video. It's been a long journey, but we have arrived, and I want to thank you. I wanted to come before you to give you a quick rundown on how the transplant actually went down, how it almost didn't go down. So I want to give you a quick run through. I don't want this to be a long video, but I got a little bit of stuff that I got to show you how it went down. Now, before I do that, call it what you want, but I call this an act of God. After I explain everything, you understand why I say that, but that's what I'm calling it. Call it what you want. Anyways, this is how it went down. At the time, I was a little frustrated at how everything was going down. I had got on the transplant list. I got kicked off the transplant list. I got back on the transplant list. All this was happening right around the same time. I was getting frustrated. So since I'm doing home hemodialysis, I can do dialysis whenever I want at my own leisure, right? So at the time, I was doing dialysis later and later in the day. This particular day, which was a Saturday, I started dialysis at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m., I'm doing dialysis. I get done about 12:15 a.m. Sunday morning. After I do everything, getting off of dialysis, take out the needles out, doing all my measurements and all that other stuff, it's about 12:40-ish. And right around that time, I get a phone call. And that phone call, bam, here's the phone call. I got a phone call from my transplant coordinator. His name is Tommy. Great guy. As you see up here, it was 12:46 a.m. That's when I got the phone call. All the rest of this stuff is just setting up transportation details and all that other stuff because I'm flying from Atlanta to Nashville. That's how it was all going down. So that's what happened. At the end of the day, they told me that I need to be at the airport for a 7:30 a.m. flight. We went to the airport. It's a smaller airport. It's not the main airport here in Atlanta. It's a smaller airport for smaller aircrafts. So we went to the airport. We got there at 5 a.m. for our 7:30 flight. Once the staff arrived, I gave the guy the tail number of the aircraft that we were flying on because I looked up the aircraft while I was sitting there. I looked up the aircraft and I gave him the tail number, and he told me once that flight gets off the ground, he will let me know because it wasn't coming out of Atlanta. It was coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is, let me get this together. This, my friends, is the tail number. This is the actual aircraft that I was riding on, the one that was coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the actual aircraft. If you look at the tail number, this is the tail number that they gave me. This is the tail number for the aircraft that was coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's what I was riding to Nashville in. It's a prop plane. As you can tell, I don't do good with prop planes. The last time I was on a prop plane, I got sick. The last 3 times that I've been on a prop plane, I got sick. So that's how it's going down. I'm riding in a prop plane. Around 6:30, I go back to the guy at the counter. I'm like, hey, you haven't said anything. I thought maybe he forgot. You haven't said anything. You haven't told me if the plane left the ground or not. He looks it up. He says the plane hasn't left the ground. I'm a little frustrated because I know coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if it hasn't left the ground yet, then it's probably not going to be here by 7:30. So there's a problem. Now, mind you, there's bad weather in Atlanta. I didn't know at the time, but there's bad weather in Pennsylvania also. A little while later, I get another phone call from my transplant coordinator. That phone call is this. It went down at 7:07 a.m. That phone call, my transplant coordinator was telling me that it's probably not going to go down because the aircraft can't get out of Pittsburgh due to the weather. And even if he did, he can't get into Atlanta because of the weather. So now we have a problem. He told me that the only way that this transplant was going to go down is if I can get somebody to drive me to Nashville, which is a 4-hour drive. He said it can still go down. So now I'm in panic mode. I asked him if there's anything that he can do. He said at the moment, no. So now I'm panicking. I'm in panic mode. And a little while later, I'm not going to show you that one, but a little while later, he calls me and he says, I found somebody. And I think we can make it happen. We're going to hammer out some other details, and he's going to call you to get some information from you, but I think it's going to go down. So when that guy called me, he said that they can make it there. He gave me the tail number and everything else. I looked up the tail number of that particular aircraft, and this is what I found. Bam! That's what I found. That's a jet. That's not a prop plane. That's a jet. So now I'm like, okay, it's going to go down. I'm a little happy. So the plane arrives in Atlanta right around 10:30-ish. And this is what I seen when he arrived here in Atlanta. Bam. I want you to notice something. I got to make this bigger so that you can see it. There we go. Can you see that right there? That says operated by Executive Aviation Services. So not only was I riding in a jet, but I was riding in a private jet by executives and all that good stuff. So now I am excited because me and my wife were riding in a private jet to Nashville. And yes, it was private. It was just me and my wife. This is me in the jet. I want you to notice the socks, right? So that you don't think that this is just any old aircraft. Notice the socks. So now, notice the socks. This is another look at your boy in the private jet. Bam! Got my feet kicked up because I'm chilling on a private jet. Yep, that's how it's going down, private jet. Now, I want you guys to notice something, that it went down. It was a private jet. When we got picked up from the airport, not only did we ride in a private jet, we got picked up on the runway. I had to make maybe 5 steps from the one runway to an executive transport. It was a bulletproof executive SUV, like the ones celebrities and the president drives in his motorcade. Yes, it was bulletproof, a bulletproof executive SUV that took me to the hospital. So that's how all of that went down. Like I said, call it what you want. There's a little bit more details to all of this, but call it what you want. I call that an act of God. One of the reasons why I said that, because I talked to Tommy, and Tommy told me that never happens. That never happens. How I got from Atlanta to Nashville, from Nashville to the hospital in Nashville, all private executive transportation. That never goes down. That's how it went down for me. There's a deeper meaning behind that, but that's how it went down. Say what you want. I call it an act of God. It is what it is. But I just wanted to tell you guys that, and now we're going to get back to the rest of the video. Sorry this was a little bit longer than what I wanted, but hey, it's going down. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm your boy, G-Ski Rocks. Peace. I'm out. What's going on, my peoples? What's going on, my peeps? I want to thank you all for watching my video. And there's some specific people that I want to thank that helped me through this journey and helped me celebrate this 1-year anniversary. To my wife, to my family, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, my medical team, and everyone who prayed, checked in, encouraged, supported, and stood with me. Thank you. You may not know how much your love mattered. You may not know how many times your prayers helped carry me. You may not know how many quiet moments your support gave me strength. But I know. And I thank God for you. And to the donor and the donor family, there's no cheap words for that kind of gift. Only honor, only gratitude, only responsibility. I will not treat this life casually. 1 year later, the beat goes on. Not because life was easy, not because I never got tired, not because I had everything figured out. The beat goes on because God kept me. The beat goes on because purpose still calls. The beat goes on because I'm not finished. So to all my life warriors watching, live from identity, not injury. Protect your health, live intentionally, speak life, and finish him.